This member was built in 1960s, and it was the first member at the ISGH main center downtown.
This is a historic, very historic member then,
The
mashallah.
objection was, why are we building masjid here where there is no community?
There's a Dr. Azimuddin who founded Islamic Arts Society here in Houston. And every year they have an arts festival. We have artists from all over the country come and display their art. They take over the whole facility. They take over the masjid, the gym.
So he made all of this by his hand.
By hand, one
And
by one.
he gave it to the masjid?
Of scouting is tightly aligned with Islam. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
It was amazing. A lot of things is in this masjid which I've seen in my eyes is a pure miracle.
Our Girl Scouts won first place in the robotics. That was a big deal for our community. They won for the whole district. We have weddings, Eid prayers here. We have graduation ceremonies.
I mean, mashallah, I feel it. I can't explain it, but I feel it. This masjid has that special essence. What makes this community special?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
As Ramadan started, I sent out an email. We were working for Compact. Group of people in Compact, they used to break Jummah. We discussed that to have a masjid in the neighborhood. We looked at several different places as a shopping strip and all that, but the difficulty was the rooms were not that big. Besides, there was no parking. Well, we were still looking for it. We found one place. Reluctantly, we agreed to have that place, and let's see. We said we can grow from there. But then again, I went for Hajj. Hajj was in April. When I returned from Hajj, someone called me and they said, we have found a place. I said, okay, alhamdulillah, just let's go look at it. It was a 12.5 acre land, bigger apple than we can chew. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the strength, encouragement from community people. Community meaning about few people, barely 50 people. We did the fundraising. The person who found this place also suggested that we will do the fundraising. But alhamdulillah, fundraising, $70,000 came in.
At that time?
At that time, and we were doing it in the air. If we cannot afford to buy this, what are we going to do with $70,000? Those were the questions, but we didn't ask those questions, didn't answer those questions. We just went ahead and did that. Then we joined ISGH, and ISGH gave us the rest of the money to buy this land. It was between $95,000 and $100,000. So we got that 12.5 acre. Now, of course, we got that land. What are we going to do with it? It was a jungle. A few days later, I got a call that, do you guys want to sell a tree? Being a city boy, I did not even know that trees are sold. So I said, come on, over there, take a look. They came out with the team. I stood outside. They went inside. Maybe an hour or so they came out. They said, we will buy 500 trees. I said, okay. I was not concerned with that. I was concerned with that, how much you're going to pay us. So that was $10,000. Alhamdulillah, every hair in my body stood up. Then we start planning. So we told them how to cut it so that we can get in as well. So we got into the land. We found a spot, open spot. Someone suggested to buy a trailer. We went and bought the trailer. And the miracle happened. Compact engineering technician came to me and said, what are we going to do with this? And originally, when I bought it, the person said, well, we'll take the wall. We can take the floor out and put a new floor, a new wall. This way, you'll get rid of the rooms. You get a big hall. So I relate the same thing to him because I have no clue what we're going to do with it. He did that. This gentleman tells me that 4 of my brothers are currently laid off and they are carpenters. Can we come and help you? I said, sure. I don't know anything about carpenting. They came and in 2 weeks, they made this trailer home a masjid, a musalla. Everything, when they were opening it, we were looking at it. Everything was, wood was rotten. They changed all that. They made a mimbar. They made a spot that you can do. The imam can stand there. And of course, we all enjoyed that in 2 weeks. Then we have a gentleman here in our community. I'm not giving any names, electrical engineering degree. And we pulled the electrical lines. We got the permit to put the electrical lines. Well, it took about a month or so to get the electricity. So when we got the musalla at first, we used to pray 3 salahs. Zohr, Asr, and Maghrib. And Maghrib, we used to have torchlight. And as soon as the salah is over, we take off because all sorts of animals come here. Dogs and snake and whatnot and whatnot. And besides, our land was, after they cut the tree, it was all muddy. So we can sink into that. But that miracle that in 2 weeks they built a musalla and we start praying. Then the electricity came. Then we found out that ISGH has the requirement that a musalla can be masjid. If you fulfill these 5 requirements, you have to have a paid imam, you have to have a Quran tafsir done, children Quranic classes, and so on and so forth. We fulfill all that. In 22 months, we became from the concept to 22 months, we became from musalla to masjid.
MashaAllah.
And ISGH never had, up until then, they never had 2 masajid in one zone. ISGH has 5 zones.
Today.
So this was the very first zone that got 2 masjid status.
Which was the other one?
The other one was on Adel Road.
Masjid Bilal, I think.
Masjid Bilal, correct. At the time, ISGH has a convention of naming the masajids with the area. So it was easy to find where the masjid is. So this area happens to be Champion. So we named the masjid Champion Masjid. Originally, we named it some other thing, but it was getting mixed up with other masajids, so our funds were deposited into their account, and that was a mess. So we became Champion Masjid. Later, that name was changed to AlSalam Masjid. Right. Alhamdulillah. And then after that, we hired an imam to lead the Taraweeh, and we had 30 families here. So what we start doing it is iftar in the masjid, and 30 families were given one day to bring the iftar. 30 families for 30 days.
MashaAllah.
Ever since, we are enjoying the iftar at the masjid up until today. Now we have 400 to 600 people come here. But at the time, we have only 30 family when we started. So after one musalla trailer, we added another trailer. A brother who is an engineer, I believe he's a geophysicist. This company had this trailer and they want to get rid of it. So he contacted me. As a matter of fact, he just prayed Zohar here. He said, well, let's take that. And that trailer was in a good shape. We bought that trailer. And again, another miracle happened. Our team went out to buy the carpet, and one brother was going to donate the money for the carpet. The carpet they found, but he forgot his checkbook or a credit card. So they said, well, come back tomorrow. And the next day they went, they couldn't find the store. That was the part of the miracle. They found another store. They walked in, they were looking at the carpet, the one they saw there. That store happens to be Arabic Brothers' store. Said, you don't want this carpet for the musalla. People are going to come in with wet feet, and it's going to get rotten in a few days.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is go ahead, give me the measurement. I will install the carpet.
Subhanallah.
So we got that carpet for free.
Amazing. That is
It was amazing. A lot of things is in this masjid which I've seen in my eyes is a pure miracle. Like I said, we were parking the trailer, the first one, and these people, carpenters, were temporarily laid off. They were used to work in Atlanta for the apartments. Now they're 5, 6 people. They build the musalla and they make this trailer what we want in 2 weeks. And then we have 2 trailers. So what we did is these same people, what they did is that they put a deck in between that. We can overflow on the deck. One of the trailer for women, other trailer was for men. The leftovers goes on a trailer. Ever since we built it up until today, the larger we build, the more people come, and it's on Jummah. You'll see a lot of people is praying outside, a lot of people praying in the lobby. It always get overflow. But we were not civil engineers, none of us. Computer engineer, electrical engineer, so on and so forth. So we did not really know which end to grab to build a masjid. So one brother is a graduate of University of Davis in California. Lived in Pakistan for 20 years after he got his master's degree. He was a builder there. So he moved to America with one intention, that I want to build a masjid. Of course, he's my relative, so we met with him and gave him the project. So there were 2 brothers who suggested, including him was one, and the other brother suggested that we have this big picture we're looking at. Why don't we select a small room from there and start building on it? So that's how bottom half was built first. And then this Imam's office used to be a Wadukhana. And we have this lobby. They suggested, let's build gym. So we built a gym after that. And then a few years later, we added this front part. The front part was added maybe 7, 8 years ago. So now our masjid can accomplish this. Each line can do 87 people, 300 people back there. So we have that many we can accommodate inside the masjid. And we have 3 Jummah prayer now. 3rd Jummah prayer almost filled this front part of the musalla. On the Eid days, we do it at the gym. Ladies come here in the main masjid. Men pray in the gym. We can accommodate 3,500 people easily. And we have 3 Eid prayers.
3 Eid prayers.
3 Eid prayers, and
so almost 3,000 to 4,000 each. So around 10 to
12,000 people come here. And alhamdulillah, these are, I'm looking at as a miracle. Me or any other person who worked with us in the masjid in the beginning, none of them were qualified. Even we went to look for a job in this field, we were not going to be hired. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the opportunity to do the work here. And alhamdulillah, we made it. My hope and my prayers are, may Allah accept all the efforts we put, everybody and anybody who did anything for this masjid.
Absolutely.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that and give us the reward of
Very
the
unique design.
That's how our architecture did. And then this brother engineer, I said, he came and joined us from Pakistan. He modified some and got that design. He gave the look of masjid. I wanted to put a dome on the top. Never got around doing it. Inshallah, one of these days, we'll put a dome and it'll look real like a masjid. The other thing we're missing is we don't have minarets.
Even without the minar and the dome, if someone looks at it,
Oh, yeah.
they can tell it's a masjid, right?
Right. Original design, there was another engineer who initially helped us. We initially made the road because it was all muddy. So after we got some money, we made the road. So in that road, he helped us. And he's a civil engineer as well. And he is the who worked with architecture to do these designs. And some of the designs were modified and changed. Actually, the back area, which we built first, the ceilings you see so high. The reason for that is we wanted to open the upstairs so we could look downstairs. Stair was supposed to be completely open, but later people who came and they changed some design. They don't want to open the upstairs.
What was upstairs like?
Ladies area, ladies prayers area. Older ladies pray down there on that corner. It's a stairways. Although we have a elevator as well. Ramadan, we run the elevator. I think upstairs can at least accommodate 400 to 500 ladies at one time.
Oh, mashallah.
And here is about 150.
You've seen the community increase in the last few
Tremendously.
decades.
Like I said, initially we had 30 people, 30 families, I would say, in Campak. And the initial objection to build this masjid was people who work Campak, who come to Juma, were about 50 people. Only few people live in this neighborhood. The rest, when their work is done, so they go away. Now the objection was, why are we building masjid here where there is no community? The 50 people we're looking at goes away to their places, which is not in the neighborhood. There were only 4 or 5 families here, including myself, in the neighborhood. We went with the idea, and some even objected us that Bilal Masjid is only 11 miles away. Why do we need another masjid?
You were
went
thinking
with
ahead.
This all happens, like I said, Allah's blessing. We cannot imagine that many people are going to be coming here. Yeah, in Spring, Texas, Louetta was a jungle at the time. If you come from 249 was being built at the time. So if you come from 249 to Champion Forest, which is about 2.5 miles, there was no civilization. Forest was the first civilization, and we built it the middle of that with this little street. But as Allah's doing that, He won the masjid here.
The Muslims who worked at Compact, those were the only people here, only Muslims here.
That's right, for Juma. They come for Juma, right?
Right.
So we had the trailer filled up in Juma, and we have the other trailer for the ladies. So ladies from the neighborhood and come. And then it start filling up, start flowing over. We have to start building, bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, of course, we build this. What we did is we initially, that architecture design, we divided into several portions. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 1 has a phase 1A, phase 1B, phase 1C. So we picked the phase 1B first, which is the middle part.
Right.
And we build that. And you see as you enter these entrance,
Yes.
that entrance, another entrance was supposed to build there for the ladies. That was one of the phases.
Right.
B, A, B, or C was the gym. So we were able to accomplish phase 1B, phase 1C. Phase 1A has to be accomplished. Ladies area has to be expanded. This masjid has to be expanded. But there's one brother donated the money to build a children playground. So the original design, this goes beyond the children playground. So when we're ready, we'll have to move the playground to further back. The advantage in this masjid is we have a lot of parking for Juma. But we still have some problems. Some people come in late and block others in.
Right.
But we have, alhamdulillah, plenty of parking. When we initially thinking about that okay, families will come in the car. But now family grew up. Kids have their own car. And they're still in the neighborhood. Some moved away, some is still in the neighborhood.
So multiple cars.
So one multiple car in one family. So that was another objective that we dealt with. We have 2 soccer fields. We have soccer coaches doing the training for the kids, boys and the girls separately. Tiles outside because we have a curve here. Tiles are pointing towards Kaaba. So if you are playing outside, all you have to look at tiles.
Which way the tiles are?
which were the tiles. So
that was intentional.
That was intentional, done by the engineers. We were sitting on $400,000, keep doing the fundraising, but we do not know which hand to grab. He was the blessing.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
He was the blessing that came to our community, and he did the construction work in Pakistan for 20 plus years. SubhanAllah. So there are many, many miracles here. And of course, I'm a human being. I make a big error, and seems like I came out of that like a hero.
Alhamdulillah.
Remember the first parking lot we put? The guy sent to draw the lines. So we're supposed to have 18 parking here, 18 parking this way. And the man skipped the first parking. Second one, he made a handicap. I came back. I actually assigned him, gave him the design and everything. Can you handle it? Yes. So I went to work, came back. Man, I was so angry at him. Why did you skip this first one? And he put the handicap sign and all that, both sides. So I did that. Man, this is going to be bad. The reason I came back is because porta potty were being delivered. We didn't have the bathroom.
Right.
So we got one porta potty. So it was two of them, one for ladies, one for men. So it was being delivered. And the guy who came out of that, he was telling me, the city ordinance says it has to go this many feet away from there and this many feet away. That spot was perfect.
Wow.
The one he skipped was perfect for that porta potty. The way he measured and all that, right? Because we have those trailers and everything.
This member was built in 1960s. And it was the first member that was at the ISGH main center downtown, and they gifted that to us.
They didn't give us, I stole it.
Oh, it's been here ever since.
Really? So this was.
So this was built in the 1960s.
So this
This was
was
the very first member.
this member built in the 1960s. First member of ISGH.
Yes.
Let's take
Mashallah.
a picture here.
This is a historic, very historic member then, mashallah.
Part of the living legacy. I want to tell you about these art pieces here. There's a Dr. Azimuddin who founded Islamic Arts Society here in Houston. And every year they have an arts festival. It's for 2 days, and about 5,000 people come from across the country. We have artists from all over the country come and display their art.
Muslims,
Non-Muslims.
Where does that happen?
They take over the whole facility. They take over the masjid, the gym. We have tours in the masjid,
Right.
particularly to talk about these two big pieces. So this one is the names of the prophets. And so this was done by Dr. Azimuddin, handcrafted.
Mashallah. So you have the names in English, and then you have the names in Arabic.
Yep.
Mashallah. Handcrafted. This is all.
Yes, it's all
Made
done
by hand.
Calligraphy.
Calligraphy.
So he made all of this by his hand.
By hand, one
And
by one.
he gave it to the masjid?
Yes,
Subhanallah.
and had it installed.
Starting from Adam alayhi
Idris.
all the way to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is the names
And that's
of
the
Allah.
names of Allah. And these other column pieces.
He did these as well?
Yes.
Allah, Muhammad.
He's a doctor who operates robotic operations.
And mashallah, he's an artist.
And
Subhanallah.
got to have that good hand-eye coordination.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, and
This
these.
is the hardest challenge of this thing is to get them fit in that size of tile.
Yeah.
All of them were larger. To get to fit in that size
On these tiles.
in
Yeah.
these tiles, that was his biggest challenge.
Subhanallah, this is very unique to the masjid.
This year, inshallah, will be their 10th anniversary, their
Of
10th
the-
year of the Islamic Arts Festival, and it's going to be held on December 9th and 10th
And this happens every year?
every year.
So how does a Muslim artist apply for this or submit their
They have a
art?
website, Islamic Arts Society, and they can sign up.
And they can-
reserve a table
Here at the masjid,
Yes,
mashallah.
yes.
That's amazing. That's
yeah,
really
it's
great.
it's pretty cool. They do things like calligraphy, so people can come in and get their names written in fancy calligraphy. Yeah, it's a big festival. Lots of kids come and they do artwork and they take home their stuff and display it. So it's very nice. And there's lots of vendors as well, food trucks, and so it's just a big event.
And if they want to sell, they can sell it here, and
Yes.
people can buy, mashallah.
Yes,
That's
yes.
fantastic.
Yeah. So that's one of the cool things that happens here. Every Sunday we have a free medical clinic. So we have lots of doctors that volunteer, and they rotate. So different specialties come in every week. Different specialties come in, treat patients for free, and it's open for anyone, Muslims and non-Muslims as well.
How many years you've been here, and how did you start getting attached to this community?
Like the brother said, we started at Compact was a company, and they made computers just a couple of miles down the road from here, and that's where we started praying in conference rooms, and then we got too big for the conference rooms, and brother joined our community. Oops. You have to edit that out. The brother joined our community,
yes.
and he quickly got us organized. Shortly after they purchased this property, I moved here. So I moved here in 2003. I moved from Bear Creek.
In Houston?
In Houston,
okay.
yeah. It's just on the west side.
How have you seen this community change in the past 20 years?
Oh, subhanAllah. Just
I want to say one thing.
Yes.
His brother, before even he moved,
Right.
he brought Boy Scouts here.
MashaAllah.
Boy Scouts.
Why, brother? What was the reason?
Well, my kids were involved in scouting, Boy Scouts of America. There were other families who wanted to participate as well, and I got a lot of encouragement to let's bring scouting to Champions Masjid. We got a lot of support. And alhamdulillah, today we have about 150 children in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, so there's a lot of activity. This morning we had a court of honor. That's sort of like a graduation process for boys and girls in the Boy Scouts. So we sort of became a catalyst for other masajids to pick up scouting and to get organized across the city. So next weekend, inshallah, there's going to be a camporee just north of here in Conroe for Muslims in the Houston area. So they're expecting like 170, 180 scouts, Muslim
Wow.
scouts to go participate.
Subhanallah. And why do you feel this was a need for Muslim kids to be part of the Boy Scouts?
It's important because I feel like the core of scouting is tightly aligned with Islam. In scouting, there's something called the scout law. And the scout law is a scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And reverent means taqwa, piety. And all of those attributes are wrapped up in piety. All of those attributes. I felt that was closely aligned. We needed a youth program for our children. And so that's a good avenue where we don't have to go reinvent the wheel, right? We don't have to go fumble around how to develop a program. Here's a program that fits our needs and fits our aqidah. They were very willing to accept us with all of our quirks. As Muslims, we have a lot of quirks. It's amazing. Can't eat this,
Yes.
I'm not available at this time. I have to go pray now. I need water.
Yes.
So as Muslims, we have a lot of quirks, and in dealing with the professional scouts, adult scouts in the area, they were very willing to learn and accommodate us. And so alhamdulillah, that was a great blessing. Many masajids across the city, they have a scouting program. So this bookshelf was built by Abdullah Mehjazi in 2014 as part of his Eagle project to become an Eagle Scout. Throughout the masjid, you will find many structures that were built by our scouts as part of their project. So benches, trash cans, the fence around the big dumpster, lots of pieces of furniture, shoe racks upstairs as well. They've certainly contributed to the development of our masjid. We're very proud of that, alhamdulillah. There's 3 of them, so there's 2 more over here. I told you about the Office of Youth Development, so this is the office for the director. This is the other 2 that Abdullah built. So and you can see these are very impressive projects for what will be essentially a 17 or 18-year-old. Right? They have to, organize the team. They have to make drawings. They have to get it approved. So it's a whole project management thing that they have to go through and get the teams to build it and install it.
Showing that the masjid is for all activities. It's not just for these 2 activities. All activities related to Islam. Sporting is part of Islam. Scouting, like he said, he gave the definition of scouting, which perfectly fits with Islam. So there are a lot of things Islam. They used to teach how to play this, work with the sword at the masjid.
Fencing.
Army was built in the masjid. Masjid is for everything.
We have traditional programs. We have over 350, alhamdulillah, we have over 350 students in the weekend Islamic school. There's 150 students in the full-time Islamic school, Houston Peace Academy. We have about 150 students, boys and girls, doing nadhira and hifz in the evenings and on weekends. We do all the traditional things. We have halaqah for different age groups. We have an Office of Youth Development, OYD. We have someone that's directly responsible for developing youth programs. Like yesterday, there was a halaqah just for boys around preteen age, pre-teenage boys, right? So 10 to 12-year-olds, getting them to give their voice to the kind of stresses and problems that they see and how to deal with that. This afternoon, inshallah, there is a college common app essay. There's a prep for that for students who are getting ready to apply for college. They have to write essays. And so they have some training for that this afternoon. So we do, a great mix of
a lot of focus on
everything that relates to our life, because we don't want to have a separation between a religious life and a secular life. We view it as one life. It's just a Muslim life, right?
We also train our kids who are ready to go to college for SAT.
MashaAllah, have you focused on the development of the youth, getting them ready for the dunya and the akhirah?
Yes, it's very important. Our children really face lots of challenges in their environment, and so we sort of have to give them the skills to deal with that, right? And those challenges are getting more and more difficult. They're not getting easier. It's not like when I went to high school, when you went to high school. What they're facing today is just exponentially much more difficult.
Everything is in their fingers. Our time, of course, the computer was a beginning. When I went for computer science, we did it on the punch card. Punch cards are in museum now.
Your age is showing.
Yeah.
But one last thing I'd like you to mention is, what makes, mashallah, I feel it. I personally feel I can't explain it, but I feel it. This masjid has that special essence.
Alhamdulillah.
And, the beauty is one thing, but it's the essence that I feel. In your words, what makes this community special?
It's just a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us great people, and all of the things that are happening here is because of the people volunteering their time, sincerely working for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What else can we say? It's just a great gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course we make lots of mistakes, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala smooths it over, He rectifies our faults, and we keep going.
One thing I want to mention is that in this masjid, which I have seen personally, this is my second experience building or working for the masjid. One I did there in California. If you go to California, San Jose, Tully Road, I was talking to the gentleman from there. Now that masjid is 3-story high.
MashaAllah.
And I remember I was praying, I was leading Fajr namaz there every day. So when I go to Sajda, the water is dripping, the water is splashing on my face. From that stage, that masjid became, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me training from there to be able to do here.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
What I did is, but in this masjid, what I want to say basically is, whenever expertise is needed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it there. Like we needed somebody to organize us, to which end to grab, to build even a small hole. Somebody came in. Then the leaders, one after another. We were always pinching pennies to spend. One guy came in, need a TV, put a TV on.
Yeah.
Anything we need, he can give the money. Then he became our Amir. And then another person came with a big vision. Spend that, we will get the money. So
Allah made it happen.
Yeah, Allah made it for people. And I always consider myself, where did you grow up? You grew up in America or back home?
In Kuwait and Pakistan.
Okay, in Pakistan, you may have seen that some people's car or motorcycle stop, wouldn't move, so we push it, and then he puts it in second gear and it goes on. I am that person who pushes it in the beginning because I have no expertise of driving. Then the drivers came.
So if the will is there, Allah makes it happen.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, every time I see a person come in, of course, he may be making a mistake or something, but let him do that. But the proper person comes in a proper time. Now the brother is our leader here. He is selected for the 3rd term, which is the maximum term you can do at ISG. Doing a great job, letting everybody do, no controversies, no problem. Of course, there may be some, because I have taken a lot of punches. He may have taken a lot of punches. So that happened. Because those punches they want us to be right. Yes. We were wrong.
Valid punches.
Yeah.
We have a great community. We have a very diverse community. We speak over maybe 25 languages here.
MashaAllah.
We have to live and work together. We have from kindergarten to retired. We have male and female. We have any profession you can think about. We have someone representing that profession here.
MashaAllah.
And our masjid youth, when we first built the masjid youth at the time, well, they're now married and have kids now.
Oh, really?
But those youth built that sign over there. One of that youth from that group participated in some school activity, and he made the 3-dimension. He got the first prize for that. So that's from the same small model, they built this big model.
So this is made by
Youth.
the youth.
They were teenagers, yes.
I thought this is like professional, paid thousands of dollars for this.
About 7-8 people involved in that group.
Mashallah.
This is our trophy cabinet. So all kinds of awards are in here, from scouting, from soccer, cricket. But down at the bottom is a trophy that our Girl Scouts won first place in the robotics competition. So that was a big deal for our community when the girls won. They won for the whole district. Muslims, non-Muslims, everyone. That was really cool.
Accomplishment, and all of these trophies have been worn by kids from this masjid.
Yeah. So this is where we have Eid prayers here. We have weddings. We have graduation ceremonies.
It's not only a gym, but it's a
Multi-purpose hall. We can get about 1,500 people in here for Eid. We usually have 3 prayers. For Jum'ah, we have 3 prayers as well. There was an understanding that, we have to bring our youths to our community. We have to keep them engaged. We have to give them the things that they need to keep them occupied, right, and engaged. Here, we prefer for them to be active here than to be active elsewhere. At least they're close to the musalla, and when it's time to pray, they can pray. It's a safe environment for our youths to grow up. We also have iftar and dinner here. So.
I give the adhan there and prayed there when we bought the masjid.
Yes.
First person.
When we laid the foundation, that piece over there, that was the first portion of the foundation. He's the first person who came and prayed on it. This used to be the old wudu area right here. It was the first person to make wudu.
Now coming the punchline.
So when they discussed, should we put a funeral home here? He said, no. He doesn't want to be the first.